This integrated audio-video control professional level 1 course will cover KeyDigital's line of video processors. When are you going to use a video processor? Well, anytime you need format conversion from analog to digital, let's say. Anytime you need to scale resolutions from standard def to high definition. That was a big thing a decade plus ago. There were many popular video scalers that would take the standard def consumer viewing sources and upscale them to 1080i and 1080p high definition. That's certainly products that KeyDigital used to deal in. But anymore, it's more about having unique layouts on the screen. They can help foster better collaboration and viewing of critical data. So those applications where you may be using those video processors, conference rooms, of course. We talked about the format conversion from analog to digital, VGA to HDMI. Well, of course, when a corporation or business or even classrooms are installing a new system for their presentations, let's say, a lot of that connectivity is going to be digital video, HDMI. However, they need to make sure they're accommodating folks that come in with VGA connectivity on their laptops. Analog to digital is one sort of format conversion, but even digital to digital. Sometimes you do need scalers and video processors, even going from within digital to digital. But other times it might just be a passive or active adapter. Like, for example, there are DVI to HDMI adapters that are passive, and with DisplayPort, you sometimes need to use an active adapter from DisplayPort to HDMI. So conference rooms and presentation spaces, let's call it, digital signage, certainly as we get into the products that will allow you to make some very unique screen layouts. You could do a little bit of decorating with these video processors. Bar and restaurant, let's say you want to show multiple sporting games on one screen as an example. Very, very popular. Now, considerations when using video processors. Are you going to use a video processor into a video distribution system? We're certainly doing that in the design at right side of the screen here, where we have our 4 sources going into our VW 4x4 Pro video wall processor. And then the 4 outputs of that processor feed a video over IP system from KeyDigital. Or do you need a video processor out of a system? For example, if you have a multi-zone video distribution project with a matrix and in one zone want to have a video wall. Speaking of video wall processors, will it be located in the rack or will it be located at the location of the video wall, at the displays? One may require long wiring or HD-based balance, as we covered in previous courses. Another would require just short HDMI cables. And what ultimately are you trying to do with this video processor? Because there are processors and there's so much software involved, there are a lot of different uses to consider. Maybe one or more uses is going to lead you towards one product or the next. So here is a very simple scaler we begin with, the KD VCS 500. This product converts VGA plus audio to HDMI output. And it is a very small product. You're looking here at front and back. The product has a wide range of supported input resolutions that we have listed here on that VGA connector. And one of the really simplistic yet very useful integration tools is the button press that allows you to choose to fix the output resolution to 720p or 1080p. This is really, really important because a lot of times when you're doing VGA to HDMI, the screen might not be filled properly on the display or on the projector. You might not have the correct aspect ratios, but this allows you to just lock it into a 16:9 aspect ratio at 720p or 1080p output resolution, and it is a bit of a set it and forget it with the KD VCS 500. Now we move into one of those products that can do some absolutely brilliant things with your window layouts. This is the Multiviewer KD MLV 4x2 Pro. It is very versatile. In fact, many folks would call a product like this a tiler. But even just as a simple 4 input, 2 output matrix, it has an additional very cool benefit that is seamless switching. So if you have a projector, for example, and you're switching from one source to the next, you will see no break in that image, no blue screen to worry about. That also sets up the Multiviewer KD MLV 4x2 Pro to be a perfect video processor for use in live event applications. So this processor overall allows you to have multiple sources on one screen. You could have it in quad view with 4 equally sized images at 1080p or 4K, or you could have what we call multi-view, where you have special sizing. We'll get into that. One of the outputs is on HDMI, the other is on HD-base-T, and that receive unit is included. And as you see, there is audio de-embedding. We support multi-channel high-definition audio formats up to Dolby and DTS 5.1 on the HDMI, HD-base-T connectors, on the PCM digital audio de-embedding ports that you see on each of the 2 outputs. Of course, the 2-channel audio, the analog audio is limited to 2 channels, and this product is app ready. Let's take some closer looks at those tools here in a few moments. But first, let's go into one of the most functional, or one of the most popular ways to getting this configured. The Multiviewer has a web control interface. You just simply plug this unit into your network or direct to your laptop, and you type in the default IP address, 192.168.1.239, into your browser. And you will enter the default password, which is admin, to continue. And of course, if you'd like to change that password, you could do that in the later on in this web control interface. But we do password protect it so that if the Multiviewer is installed in a bar restaurant, as we discussed previously, people don't come in and just start tweaking things. Once you enter the web control interface, you have a basic video control interface where you can choose the source selection for each of the 2 outputs, or choose 4K or 2K, 1080p, quad mode, or choosing one of the multi-view modes. And you see a nice layout. Now this actually looks identical, the basic video looks identical to the KeyDigital app GUI, which we'll show you in a moment. Moving on through what else is possible in the web control GUI or interface, we have basic audio selection. So you could, for each of the audio sources, you could choose, is it on the HDMI or the external 3.5 millimeter ports? If you're in a quad or multi-view selection, you could choose what audio source you'd like to listen to. We have that there in the B block. You have advanced video as well. The advanced video allows you to basically create any layout you wish with the Multiviewer MLV 4x2 Pro. We take a look at the top section where you have X0 and Y0, X1 and Y1. You can basically, each of your 4 inputs, you could choose value of for the top left and bottom right corners of that window. So you can build your own custom layouts. We also have layering. So if you're not looking to show all 4 sources, you could stack windows behind each other, or perhaps you just like to fan out the sources or the windows so that they're slightly layered on top of each other. You can do that. You even have visibility adjustments available, not in the web control interface, but through basic ASCII strings. You can adjust visibility to 0, 25, 50, and 75%. And we have our network setup, where you can adjust the IP address and the default gateway or router IP, and you could apply a new password to log in to the web control interface. So this is very cool, and again, you could just type in the IP address of the MLV4x2 Pro on your network to access this. And so what does this mean? This means if you install this in a presentation space, a bar restaurant, or any application, your end user can just type in the IP address in their web browser from their iPhone or Android as well, and have a nice control interface for the product. Another brilliant integration tool is the built-in HD-base-T transmitter that is on output 1. It includes KDX222PO. Now, with those two outputs, again, there are 3 modes of usage, and it is very important to segregate the 3 modes. Mode 1, full screen mode, as we see here in the example on display 1. Mode 2, quadrant mode, which is 4 equally sized quadrants. And you could have output 1 and 2 doing full and quadrant mode totally independent of each other. However, once we get into that multi-view mode, where we will begin to utilize the video processing resource of the product and have one large image at top, bottom, left, or right, or access any of those or call any of those custom layouts, then in the multi-view mode, the 2 outputs do become mirrored. They will show the same thing at the same time. On the audio outputs, you have analog and digital. There are no volume controls, no EQ, no format conversion. So if you want to have the output on 2-channel analog, then your HDMI sources should be told to output 2-channel for the feed into the multi-viewer. And of course, that can all be negotiated through our EDID control or set up manually in the video sources output, audio output options. And we do have support for analog video and audio on inputs 1 and 2. So again, this product is pretty ideal for presentation spaces where perhaps you want to show the primary presenter and 3 additional colleagues want to have their content on the screen to show some supporting numbers and figures for some new initiatives that the company perhaps has taken. So those presenters can plug in on analog or digital, HDMI or VGA if needed. And again, that analog audio input can either be associated with the HDMI instead of relying on the HDMI for the audio, or with the VGA. And here we have a look at the KeyDigital app, GUI for the multi-viewer, where you see that you can choose your display 1 or 2, select the mode, 2K or 4K quadrant mode. So in the 4K, very, very beautiful picture quality where each of the 4 windows is 1080p. A lot of folks have asked us before how the quality looks if they're using Excel sheets or they have fine text on the screen, and the answer is brilliant. The quality is extremely high. The processor is very good in our product, whereas we have received feedback from the field that some of the competitors offering similar products, not nearly as flexible products, but similar products, just don't have that high quality that they need for conferencing and presentations. Our KD-MLV4x2 Pro certainly lives up to that. You have your 4 multi-view presets, top, bottom, left, or right, large image. You can call custom presets, and you can select your audio source when you're looking at more than one source at a time. So that, of course, the KeyDigital app, free control app. So really, depending on your application, we just give you so many options to deliver really, really cool features, really, really advanced technology as far as collaboration in conferencing and presentation spaces, huddle spaces, really enabling the users to work together, yet offering very cost-effective ways of controlling this otherwise advanced product. But it's not just all the KeyDigital app with the MLV 4x2 Pro or Compass Control. It, of course, is controllable by any third-party control system, and you can do your basic configuration or have control over your entire system that way. We'll go over all of this options in Level 2 IAVC course. Moving on to the KD VW 4x4 Pro. So previously we just looked at our multi-viewer, which enabled multiple sources to be viewable on one screen. How about the applications where they'd like one image across many screens? Now this is a 4x4 seamless matrix switch because it is a video processor. We can fix the output resolution, and the display or projector will see no such breaking in the image. Very nice feature. And we'll get into some of the other features as we move along in these slides. For example, this video wall processor is not just a 2x2 video wall. It actually supports 8 different video wall modes. You have 2x2, of course. You have 1x4 horizontal with a 90-degree image rotation. We have 1x4 horizontal and typical installation of the displays, 4x1 vertical, 3x1 vertical, 1x3 horizontal, and 2x1 or 1x2 vertical and horizontal. Anytime we're using the two outputs or the two output video wall mode, you actually have the option to mirror your outputs so they can show the same thing. You could have two video walls, in fact. And just think about the product here with the VW 4x4 Pro. The products that this is replacing, from external video wall processors that may cost upward of $30,000 to displays with video wall processing built in. This product actually has an amazing feature that if your application could use consumer displays because of not requiring 24/7 on time, or perhaps just because of low budget, our panel flip feature is an awesome integration tool that will allow you to sell video walls at half price. Of course, you will have to contact your KeyDigital sales rep for pricing, but we know how affordable consumer displays are anymore, and we also know how thin the frames are for those consumer displays on 3 of 4 sides, the only problem being the bottom of that consumer display is either a little thicker or it may have this bump for the IR sensor or for the speakers. So with the panel flip feature enabled on any of the 4 outputs, in this example, outputs 1 and 2, we have enabled panel flip, and now we are able to conjoin the narrow sides of the frames of the television and create a video wall, 2x2 video wall, at typically less than half the cost of creating a video wall using a consumer display, or excuse me, using a professional display. And keep in mind, it's also going to reduce the cost of the control system because it's going to be a single connection point into controlling the video wall with our matrix VW 4x4 Pro, as opposed to sending many commands to each display if you need to toggle video wall modes. Another professional feature integration tool is the bezel adjustment, where you can adjust the screen up to 99 pixels. We could push the image over the frame up to 99 pixels independently on all four sides of all four outputs of the matrix so that it could appear as though that image is just continuing through the frame of your monitors. And of course, the product is app ready. So you have an extremely cost-effective way of controlling this. And it should be mentioned that, as we go through all the looks at the KeyDigital app control GUI for these products, as a reminder, this GUI is built for end users. So you're not going to get some of those features that some of those options that the end user may stumble into and essentially break their video wall. That's not going to happen with the KeyDigital app. It's just giving you the control that the end user should have in order to make this system extremely user-friendly. You can toggle the 8 video wall modes or set it to matrix mode so that you can view any of the sources as a 4x4 matrix on any display. You could choose the audio source of the video wall, and you could choose analog or digital, VGA or HDMI input type. Just the essentials there. And you can even create presets out of the configurations. For information on how to do this using the ASCII strings, we're going to go to level 2 of your integrated audio video control. This is going to be useful for some of your initial configurations, perhaps. Or if you will be controlling the KD VW 4x4 Pro by a third-party control system, and you may have some really custom things you'd like to do. That is all possible with our open API. It's all documented in the owner's manual, and we will cover it all in Integrated Audio Video Control Level 2 courses. And we thank you for viewing this Integrated Audio Video Control Professional Level 1 video.